Beauty from Ashes, welcome back. Sarah Netta is a person who I have not met a similar one before in my life. And I say that truthfully. She is a woman who her life changed in one day, maybe 1 minute, to become, in spite of her dynamic activity, cannot sit down, always taking care of everybody, never cared about anything in herself but to care for her husband and her kids, to almost become wheelchair-ridden, losing her legs, her left arm movements, but in the same time, she's becoming a symbol of power, hope, and resilience. I am very happy to have not only Sarah today, but her husband Haleem. Both of them are really amazing couple. How long you guys have been married?
17 years.
17 years. Does it feel 17 or 77?
Time flying.
You guys have the amazing smiles, both of you. You always have, is that why you got attracted to each other when you first married?
He was more smiling, but I learned the smiling from
Really?
him more.
You're smiling in every episode.
Oh.
I have not seen you grumpy.
Laughter is a therapy.
Yes.
So I learned that, you have to take things.
I think he's a good teacher to learn laughter from.
He's
So-
an amazing teacher.
Tell me, you were told that she had an accident. You rushed to the accident place. What were you told?
I expected it's gonna be a bad accident when I went there, and the officer told me she's still breathing. That both cars was totaled, and I heard she was in between the cars. So I rushed to the hospital, and the hospital didn't give me much information. She was in the ER, and that day it was like no information coming. Like after half an hour, a nurse came to tell me, she opened her eye after we gave her blood. Then I called everybody. I called Abuna Ruiz, I called her dad, I called everybody. I called a friend to come take the kids. I took the kids with me, was with me at that time. And then I'm waiting. Any news, I just fighting to get into the hospital. They don't let anybody in the OR, the operating room. A nurse came to tell me she opened her eye, but everything is crushed. She survival rate is very low. And after maybe a couple hours, the doctor that was taking care of her in the OR came out and say, the legs was already separated, we amputated them. That's not the crazy thing now, because she had all C2 fracture, fracture in the skull, hemorrhage. That's, it's going to be a lot, even if she woke up, it's going to be mostly paralyzed. It's like all the news comes like nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing that gives you something, So I tried to reach out some of the doctors that we have in the church, one of them was an anesthesiologist years ago. So he called anesthesiologist, and it was the one that was taking care of her. And I tried to get all the news, but all the news that comes, it was horrible. It was crazy. She stayed that day like 22 hours in the OR. In surgery, and then when she got out, she had the halo. She had the accident 9 p.m. after she worked at 9 till 9, and then that night she was in the operating room, and the whole day after. And I remember, after 24 hours when she comes to the intensive care unit, from the operating room, and I stayed that night. That night was really
Toughest night in your life.
It was, because we put ice bag all over and it killed the skin, and still the temperature doesn't go less than 110. We give all the Tylenol, and then ibuprofen is like fever. It can kill anybody that's, And I remember that night is like all the doctors was all night, it was solo nurse and doctor and me in that. This is the second night. The first night she was in the OR,
So the second night is where the fight.
The second night when I was considered the first night that I spent with her, it was crazy, and nothing was going right. I remember the first 17 days in Osceola Regional. There's a lot of memory there. But thank God, because all the news in the beginning, it was not that easy. It was crazy.
So I have a question to both of you. When was the first time she opened her eyes and you saw her?
She opened her eye around 12 days after the accident, or actually maybe 1 week or 10 days, but we have to keep adding the propafenol to make her induced to coma. The first time, like, yeah, I have a written when when we give her a paper, she cannot talk to write to Gabriel. But the first 12 days or so, she was in total.
Do you remember the first day you opened your eyes and saw him?
I remember opening my eyes and seeing all of them around me, and I saw Haleem next to me. I saw my parents and my sisters, and I remember like just thinking so much that how without talking I can ask them about my kids if they were with me. That's what I remember.
Yeah.
That day is the beginning when I was like more aware. Before that, all of the propofol and all of those meds kind of get you
Make you
in
completely
and out, like
Yeah.
no memory. Yeah.
A question to you. How do you see Sarah before and after the accident?
After the accident, she's one of the strong people that, she can continue and she can get over things, not like me. And, and she can manage through. That's one of the strong things. Before she was active, basketball for the middle school and the church. She was working. We have the kids. We were running around. I was also crazy with buying houses and, and working extra to make extra money and all this stuff. We had a very busy life until the accident.
Yeah. But after the accident, you see her much more strong than before.
That's right. That's true. I was worried the first week. MRI in the brain, it's a lot of damage, the fraction, and has 2 centimeters and dressing in the brain. And that's 2 days after the accident. They said we're supposed to go and take this to remove the pressure, but she cannot take any more surgery. That's 2 days after. So they just left it alone. They didn't do anything about it. Also, the C2 fracture, there is drop of blood that went in the spinal cord and was pressing in them and the spinal cord, so nothing they can do about that too. And it was complicated. Like, here is, we see this, but we cannot do anything. We see this, but we cannot do anything, I remember the neurosurgeon that got my brother-in-law, yeah. The brain is like a jello. We don't know what's happening until 1 week we see if the cognitive comes back.
Yeah.
So the first week, even after 10 days, she opening her eye and we feel like she's trying to see something. But for us, we see, are you aware what's going on or not?
Yeah.
Is there awareness or not? It's good. She opened her eye, but it's...
How do you see Sarah managing her family as a wife, as a mother?
It's way better than I expected.
How do you answer this question?
The life, if it wasn't that Haleem never made me feel like I was too much, I think when I went home, I felt like I can't believe I'm gonna be a burden to you, and it really used to eat me up. That point, it used to be like something that I was upset for him to have to be my husband, like when I'm like this. That's my personal feeling of
Were you ever thinking to tell him, why don't you leave me?
Yeah, we've had the crazy conversations like that, but he told me one time something that I will never forget, that helped that perspective that I had of worrying, about like his future, or like just being self-cautious of myself. He told me, well, that when they're married, they're one flesh. So if the hand has something wrong with it, do you just let go of it and break it and get rid of it? Or if the leg has something wrong with it, do you take that off and don't worry about it? Or do you go and ask and find what is the cure and how to help it and how to make it better? And to me, that just clicked my
Yes.
problem that I had in my mind.
Do you remember that word?
I don't know that much, but I feel like it went smoother than expected. I thought we're gonna have a lot of trouble in the first couple of years, but I think we were carried or something. It's
It's almost 7 years now.
it is, and the kids was too little too. I remember Juliana born in 2012. This accident happened 2016, so we'll call her 5 years. But no, the accident happened in May. She born in September. She was 4 years and 8 months.
4.5.
That's right. Gabriel born in September 2008. So when this happened, it was 9 years, not even 10 years.
Babies.
Yeah, it's but
How do you see your children reacting with their mom?
I think they learned a lot how to help and serve. Not like before they were everything is done for them.
Yeah.
So and they are the one that helping, and they're responsible. So I like that.
I'm so happy to have met both of you. Seriously, I'm very impressed.
We're more happy to train.
Thank you. You guys such an amazing couple.
So much.
This is Beauty from Ashes. If you have a marriage problems, please listen to this episode, because you should never talk about marital problems after you hear what you heard. Bonded in one flesh, never separated, regardless if it's health or sickness. That's what God intended. That's what the Bible designed, to be one with each other, because what God unites, no one should separate. Amazing wisdom coming from tragic situation, but the aftermath is actually far beautiful than anything anyone could have imagined. It's only through God's grace this couple is laughing, enjoying, loving, growing, and parenting their kids. Beauty from Ashes, thank you.